like to invite forward pretty much anyone who wants to come sit on the steps, because where are the children? I don't know. But Aisling will come and sit with me, for sure. Okay, Aisling will help Barb up again. This is your chance for returning to your childhood. In a minor way. All right, the grown-ups are going to have to carry it. You can do it, grown-ups! Okay, so I've been very busy lately, as many of you may have noticed around here. And one of the things I have been doing is cleaning things out, both here and at home. So who knows what cleaning out is? Ann Fisher?
It is getting rid of things that you don't need.
Getting rid of things you don't need. Aisling, what were you going to say? Come on up, Liam. Throwing stuff, putting stuff away. Yeah. I appreciate your eagerness, but I worry for your health. Oh, sisterly advice. It's all right, Aisling. Look at Rev Deb's feet, Liam. But I go slower than you is all. Okay, so cleaning, Aisling said something that basically means cleaning up, right? Putting things away, getting things less dusty perhaps. And then Ann said cleaning things out, right? Which means getting rid of stuff. Okay, now, who here thinks they're good at cleaning either up or out?
What's that, Matt?
Oh, some people feel they have that down. Okay, who lives with any of these people that agrees with them? It's really a good thing that Gary didn't pop out and raise his hand, because not so much, people, not so much. Okay, so some people are better at cleaning up, and some people are better at cleaning out than others. So I think that cleaning out is a lot harder than cleaning up. Why is that? Why do you think? There it is, decisions to make. Cleaning out is very serious cleaning, but it means you have to get rid of stuff. And so what Barbara said is absolutely true. You have to make decisions, right? It's very easy to pick something up, dust under it, put it down
Stuff
again.
it someplace.
Yeah.
Right.
Mine
Gary,
are relatives there, though.
yeah, that's right. Gary said, Carol, we'll get to that. Gary said the other day, he's like, well, we should just get this stuff out of here. We could just dump it in this drawer. And I said, this drawer is full. He said, well, we could just dump out that drawer. And I'm like, or we could start getting rid of things, right? So some people are better than others, and cleaning out is hard because you have to make decisions, okay? Because the first thing you have to do is decide what to keep and what to get rid of, right? So it's very hard to let go of things. Why is it so hard to let go of things?
Because we have emotional attachments.
Hmm? Sentimental attachments, that's right. We have
People
sentimental
equate
attachments.
Wealth with stuff.
Hmm?
People equate wealth or stability with stuff. The
Stuff.
more stuff you have, the better off you are.
Right, that is a cultural thing, right? The more stuff you have, the better off you are. But also because it's sentimental. Now, who probably has the worst problem with getting rid of stuff in the universe? Jesse does, personally, but men?
Margie Fisher.
Men?
Margie Fisher.
Margie Fisher? Let's think larger. No, God, no, not so much God. God hangs on to stuff pretty well, but not stuff.
The church.
What is it? Somebody just said it.
The church.
The church. The church. But my great-grandmother donated that light bulb.
Yeah.
But what? You want to change the LEDs, but the old ones are so pretty. They have this pretty orange glow, right? They also have lead in them. That's true. Yes. See how the young people think? They also have lead in them. It's very hard work, right? And at Grace, we have to work on that too, right? What can we get rid of and what can we keep? So cleaning things out is very hard. Why do we have to clean things out?
To keep the environment beautiful.
Well, to make things more beautiful. But why else?
To make space for more junk.
What'd you say, Aisling? Not to make space for more stuff, but to make space for more...
Memories. Worship.
Ah, who said worship? Good job. More relationship with God, more ideas, more spirit, right? If you're clogged up with stuff, just think of the layers you got to get through to get to the spirit, right? Like, think about when you pray, and I'm not going to ask anybody about how they pray, but one of the ways I was taught to pray as a child was to thank God for what I had, right? I was telling the 8 o'clockers that every night I thank God for having sheets, because it just feels to me like a very privileged thing to have sheets, to be able to get into clean sheets every night, right? When so many people don't even have anything to sleep on, right? That's a thing, but it has a specific, right? It has a specific emotional resonance for me. But if you do what we were taught to do as kids, right? Now I lay me down to sleep, right? I thank God for Mommy and Daddy and my house and my dolls and my Legos and my Mortal Kombat game and whatever, right? If you go through all your stuff, when do you get to the part where you thank God for being part of Christian community? Do you ever get to that point? You don't have to nod or not nod, but I betcha a lot of us don't even get there.
God is the Christian community.
No, we are the Christian community because God is in this world, God is in us. So we are God's hands and feet in the world, right? We are the Christian community. Okay, so here's the story today. Last week we heard this parable of the sower. I think most of us have known that. The sower goes out and sows the seed. And some of the seed falls on this ground, and this happens to this seed, and some of it grows. And Reverend Stephen last week gave a very good explanation, much better than I could have because I don't garden. I kill plants. I always say I grow people, but I kill plants. But Reverend Stephen did a good job and talked about like what it means, right, to be good seed, and what it also means to have all this stuff, right? Well, this week, Jesus tells another growing parable. Because remember, who's Jesus mostly talking to?
Farmers.
Farmers and
Shepherds.
shepherds and who's the most famous of the disciples?
Fishermen.
Fishermen, that's right. Fishermen, right? It's an agrarian society. So he speaks to them in ways they can understand. Now, if Jesus were around today, he might talk tech. I don't know. He'd be above my head. But that's who he's talking to. So he's talking about people who have to, and this is how they live, right? They live by growing things. So these are very big concerns to them. So this time he tells this story about how they planted all good seed, and what happened? The weeds came up. And they were like, I love the workers, right? They go running.
Weeds here?
That's right. The workers go running back, and they're like, Master, why didn't you plant some good seed? Because all we've got is weeds, right? And the master's like, I did plant good seed. And they're like, well, why do we have weeds? And
someone came and planted them and stole the other seeds.
They didn't steal the other seeds, but they did. They came and planted the weeds. Who planted the weeds?
An enemy.
An enemy. Excellent,
An
Liam.
enemy.
You're rolling. An enemy planted the seeds, right? An enemy. So then, of course, they do. God bless them. Those servants do exactly what we do. We're like, all right, great. We're going to go weed them out. We'll get rid of them, and then we'll be okay, right? Let's go get rid of the weeds. And what does Jesus say?
They shoveled them out.
No. Why not?
Ow.
Why not? We weed. We all weed in our gardens, except for me.
You
Why
pull
not?
out the weeds, you pull out the good seed.
If you pull out the weeds, you have the problem of pulling out the good seed or the good sprouts with the weeds, right? So what does Jesus say has to happen instead?
Burn them.
No, not yet.
Kill them.
Well, this is this week's. Well, I was just giving you a preview. What was that,
Let them
Pat?
grow together.
Let them grow together. Let them grow together, and then what?
And then when you harvest,
Then when you harvest, we're going to see who turns out how, right? Who's going to decide how they've turned out?
Farmers.
Well, the master. And then when they ask Jesus to explain this, because they never understand and they have to ask Jesus to explain this, who in Jesus' explanation is going to sort them out? God. Right? Are we supposed to sort them out even at the end? No, why not? We know a weed when we see one, don't we? Or maybe not, right? Human beings are terrible at judging human beings, right? And Jesus says, listen, butt out, you don't have the training for it. You leave it to me. Now, this is kind of one of those disturbing readings, right? Because we get to the end of it and Jesus says, here's what's going to happen.
Tried to choke me. No.
She's not a weed, don't choke her. You're not a weed, don't choke her. Okay,
I'm
yay.
not.
Well then don't choke. Weeds choke.
Ow!
See, that's what
She
happens.
hurt me.
When you hurt somebody else, you hurt yourself.
I'm
Just
not
saying.
hurting her.
Okay, so who decides? God. Why? Because we do not do it very well, do we, Liam? We don't judge other people very well. You know, siblings are the worst at judging each other. I have to say, I do it to my poor sister all the time. I'm very hard on my sister. My sister is very hard on me, right? That is like the nature of siblings. This will never stop, but it will change its nature. Do not hit your sister, please. Okay, so God says leave them together and God will decide at the end of the age. Now this is the creepy part. And then what's going to happen? Then God's going to divide them up and some of them are going to go into the inferno and moan and gnash their teeth. And you're like, oh, what happened to nice God? What happened to nice God? What did happen to nice God? Well, that's a very human thought. He gave them their just desserts. He what? He tried. That's true. God did try for a long time. You know, remember, Stephen talked about this last week, and this is my thing, right, that I'm always preaching that you guys hear all the time. What do I say about sin? Separation. Sin is separation. And sin is a choice to separate yourself. When you choose, now we all sin accidentally, right? We do it all the time. And the main thing about sinning accidentally is to recognize you've done it and be remorseful for it. I can't tell you how many times I've been in a meeting and said something that really was hurtful to someone else, and I didn't mean it that way, but when they say that was really hurtful, I say, oops, sinned, sorry, and then you try to repair the relationship, right? Because sin is separation. But if you keep making these choices very deliberately, even after you have been told that this is not the way God wants us to act, you are choosing to separate yourself from God and from other people, right? Go right back to the 10 Commandments. When you choose to steal and lie and kill and just keep justifying that behavior instead of going, oops, I'm sorry, and let's repair the relationship, you are making a choice to separate yourself from God and one another, right? So when we get to the end of the age, it is my belief that the weeds that are going to the fire are the people that have chosen, in fact, to go that direction. Because they have chosen to hurt, right? Weeds choke, weeds kill regular plants. They have chosen to continue to hurt the rest of the community.
Because they are sin.
What was that, Liam?
Because they are sin.
That is sin, right. Very good, Liam. So that part is really scary, but if you think about the fact that you're making that choice, it's not like God's so much giving you your just desserts. It's like you giving you your just desserts, right? There's this very old joke that has some stereotypes in it, but I always find it amusing, which is a man dies and goes to hell, and the devil says, well, we have people in groups here, and you don't really believe in anything, so where do you want to go? And the guy says, well, I don't believe in any of this. And the devil goes, well, but you get a choice. Where do you want to live? And he goes, well, you can live with those people. Who are those people? Oh, those are the Catholics because they're there because they violated the rules about gender norms and sexuality and abortion, because those were their rules and they violated them. Okay, who's in that room? And he goes, well, that's the Baptists because they violated their behavioral norms about drinking and da-da-da. And he goes, well, who's in that room? And he goes, that's the Episcopalians. And he says, what are they there for? And he says, eating their shrimp with their salad fork.
There's a salad fork.
And a shrimp fork.
There's a shrimp fork.
This is how the church has changed. Praise Jesus. Praise. So the joke is that the sin is that the Episcopalians have separated themselves because they think they're better and fancier than other people. And that, is not a really poor judgment, right? Like I said, this is stereotypes. I don't really believe in these stereotypes. But basically the idea is you make your choices and you say, these are the rules I believe in, and then you choose to follow them or not follow them, right? And that's totally up to you. And God gives us a lot of choices and says, these are the rules, follow them, don't follow them. And so only God can decide, who gets separated out. And I believe the people, the weeds, get separated from the good because they choose, right? They choose. And they've been trying to not be part of that, that community, that collaborative group, and so that's their choice, and that's where they end up, right? So that's sort of like the idea of cleaning up, right? But here's the one thing we do not clean out in the church then, after that whole story. What do we not clean out in the church? God. Definitely God, because God is the church and we are the church. What else?
People.
Ourselves.
People, that's right. We do not clean out people. We cannot do it. We don't know how to do it. You never know how people are going to turn out. You never know that God is, Reverend Stephen said last week, God makes the growth. Everybody can change. Everybody can reform. We can clean out all our stuff, but we never clean out our people, because sometimes it's the people we least expect that we need the most, and we all need each other. So we do not clean out people. Only God does that at the end of time. And do we know when that is, by the way?
No.
All right, so please, next time someone tells you they've read Daniel or Revelation and they know when the apocalypse is, please remind them that no, we do not know. Only God knows. And we wait. And we wait patiently because we have what?
Faith.
And actually today, what do we talk about a little bit more? Hope, right? Why is hope different than faith?
Faith, you kind of know, you're pretty sure it's going to happen. Hope, you just pray that it will happen.
Yeah, hope, what they said in the reading today, and by the way, Aisling read that Romans very well. It's really hard to read, and you did such a good job, Aisling, with all those crazy commas. Because it's a tricksy one, right? It's who hopes for things that you've already seen? Hope is not about things you've seen, because why would you hope for things you've seen? Hope is about things you haven't seen. And if you hope for things you haven't seen, you hope for patience, because you haven't seen what they're going to be yet, right? And when you hope for things that are of God, how does that make you feel? When you think, well, we could have peace, we could have justice, right? These are the things we hope for. We hope for peace and justice and love among fellow human beings. And if you hope for those things, how do you feel? If you put yourself in that hope, that feeling of hope.
Uplifted.
Better, right? You feel better. Now, if you put yourself in fear, I fear that there will not be justice. There will not be peace. We will never see love again. Then how do you feel?
Bad.
Bad, right? So I have a button today. My button says hope over fear. So that's where we are. Hope over fear. And what we hope for is that all those weeds get rehabilitated, and that we all end up together and nobody has to go into the fire and be burned, and that we all make good choices and we help each other make good choices. So what do you think? Can we do that? Nobody? Everybody afraid to try? Can we do that? Yes! And what do we say in church when we agree? Amen. Amen.
All right, here goes.
Oh!